Style and preference is a big part of what makes good line art, but no matter what your style, it's good to understand just what you can do with the right method, why it's applied the way it is, and some of the common approaches. Unlike a painting that's formed by applying color against color, line art is defined by its lines. It's what gives it form and shape, and there are ways to bring depth to those lines, such as line variation. This involves varying the line strength of a stroke. Things that are closer or are meant to be the focus will have thicker lines to emphasize them. It's like bolding your text. You can't help but notice it first. Same idea goes for thinner lines, for things that are less important or at a distance. Colored or blurred lines are often used in backgrounds in a similar way, to fade out so they're not too distracting. Line variation is good at conveying a sense of weight and perspective. Say you want a character sitting in a room. The character is the focus. If you have both them and the background all the same line width, same color, same everything, especially if there's a fair amount of detail, it can all get lost in each other, making things feel cluttered and just not very visually appealing, or at least not as much as it could be. So how about we lighten the background and add a little more definition to the character? Nothing fancy, just enough to fit the scene and low-key tell the viewer, pay attention here first, everything else is secondary. What may feel like a jumble of lines from a cheap children's coloring book can suddenly look still like that, but better. Maybe you've noticed how some drawings will peter out, leave gaps in some areas, such as areas that come to a point, or are meant to look more soft, subtle, affected by light, or places where one element meets another. To use the painting comparison again, this taper and gap method touches on that just a bit. It could help make something very 2D, like black and white line art, look more three-dimensional. Still a drawing, but with parts of it left to blend away. And there's generally a more human feel to it, because it naturally resembles traditional inking, brushstrokes and the like. It feels like something that took intention and physical pressure by a physical human hand. But it's more than just realism and emphasis. Line art can also be stylized to get across a feeling. Say you want something to look scarier. Well, thicker lines can help express that. It automatically makes it darker, and taking a step further, you can stylize those dark lines, make them gritty, more graphic. Really help sell that dark feeling. See the difference? Conversely, if you wanted, say, a character close-up to look especially beautiful and delicate, having light, wispy lines can get across a feeling of softness. There are so many ways to go about inking and line art. For some artists, inking is their specialty, their whole thing. And I am not one of those artists. I am not a pro. But I would be remiss to not at least mention some techniques for inking. 1. The fast method. To make strokes fast in one swoop, one flick, the speed serving to make a smooth, faded effect. There's also the taper bit-by-bit method, making multiple mini-strokes and combining or blending them together to make a stronger one. Whatever the method, the more steady and controlled your hand is, the better. Or you could just use stuff like vector tools and control points, but that's another video. Again, style and preference matter a lot here, and there are no tried and true rules. Something like, say, a comic strip with very simple designs and very little for the artist to actually draw may easily be able to pull off having plain, messy, or crude line art. That may in fact be perfect for what they're going for. Honestly, in art, sometimes it all just comes down to what looks good. Nice line work isn't going to turn bad art into gold, but it can help you improve if you have an eye for it. Wonky anatomy and overall cursedness aside. So look at artists whose line art appeals to you, try to study it, see why it works. Even if it seems so good that it's beyond your understanding, who knows? maybe some of the stuff I've mentioned here will click. Hey, hope you liked the video. I tried to cram in some useful information but keep it contained, because inking and line art can easily expand into lots of other things. Hopefully it was enough to be helpful. I'm pretty new to making tutorial videos and videos in general, so thanks for checking it out. Subscribe if you want. Bye now.